Simon, a good victory over at York on Sunday, making it 7 consecutive wins in the league. You're a team that's in a really rich vein of form at the minute.
Yeah, we are. We're going pretty well. Yeah, I think the last 2 games, no disrespect for those that come before, but I think the calibre of opposition just gone up a touch, and we've passed the test. Yeah, a lot of adversity within the game, and to come out on the good side, coming through that makes it taste a bit sweeter, to be fair. Yeah, I think the sin bins were just. Benny Thaler did a good job on the whole. Really, I thought he had a good day. There's one Louis sin bin where I think another inexperienced referee, we might have got away with that one, but we got what we deserved, and the lads did really well in that period. Conceded a couple of tries in that period, as you expect. 13 versus 11, it's pretty tough in a big old area to mark, and it on a nice pitch over there at York. So I think we did really well, and obviously Lackland plucking the intercept. Had they got over there, that might have made it a little bit too far for us. But that said, I think we went half time. They scored just before half time, and then or just after. I can't remember now. But it ended up being 34 points to 6, sort of, consecutive points for us. So dare I say, we might have come out the other side of it if Lackland hadn't pulled that off for us. But that certainly started, a little bit of tip in the tide there, where. I think after that we scored a couple of tries back to back, and a real psychological blow going into half time for them. I thought they'd put a lot into that, but yeah, we showed some quality and some resolve, which were really nice.
It was 3 tries in that 8-minute period right before half time, where potentially you were staring down a tough scoreline to overcome, and then going in the lead. Did that sort of affect the way that you went in and talked to your troops at half time?
Yeah, yes and no. We discussed some of the reasons why we ended up, losing them rucks to where the ruck speed got away from us, and that's where your professional fouls come from, on one of them anyway. But we spoke more about a little bit about that, the psychological blow. But you couldn't discount the fact that we'd done a significant period down at least one man, which, if I'm 40, I'm saying to my boys, if I'm him, played a long game. Complete eye, take them to the last 15 minutes of game, and that effort they've put in early on, it'll come and bite them. But we decided to play. We were going to play the long game as well and see who had it in them. But I think we just had too much for them. I said after the game, it looked like we were in fast forward at times. We got the ruck going quite quick. Our back 3 did a great job, and then that meant Adze, Diz, Calais, Kev Leroy, Titus were all carrying sort of front foot stuff, which is a lot easier through the middle as opposed to the brick wall stuff when you're on the back foot.
And there's some real standout performances out there, not just Joe Keys, who seems to come up with players like that every week, but there's got to be a special mention for Captain Brandon Moore, playing an 80-minute performance in the middle. What was the thought about playing him in that sort of 13 role as opposed to keeping him as an interchange hooker? Was that a conscious decision, or was that forced?
It's something we did a lot with him last year. He played 80 a lot last year, and as we mentioned before, probably run him into dirt doing that. We just felt that his energy was what we needed. He didn't really relent, he just keeps going, and it also allowed us, it provides a little bit of mobility as well. But he might be short in stature, but he's tough enough to do the graft that comes with being in the middle. I think I might repeat myself here, but I certainly said it to the lads, but I might have said it to Mike as well, where Brandon gets overlooked. His effort week on week is the same. He doesn't always get it because he doesn't do anything particularly flash at times. However, I will say I think we've got him back in some decent form, where he's getting out of dummy half a bit more often, and that comes from the hard work of the blokes around him. But he's not the loudest character. You'll speak to him now and again, Faz. He's not the most talkative. He leads by his actions, and he certainly did that for the full 80 on Sunday. And typified by end of the game, I think might have been their last possession. 5th tackle, kick pressure. He's the man putting the kick pressure on. They're offside on the kick, and that's because he put Ellis in a spot where he didn't want to be. So yeah, all the stuff, we certainly don't miss him, and it's nice for him to get a bit of credit.
Absolutely. It's another game in a row where we've seen some real good attacking rugby on show. A lot of points put on the board. Confidence seems to be really flowing through. Is it a good sort of? Are you happy to be vindicated? Because you were saying earlier in the year that once the pitch is firm up, the time will come, and this team will really start firing. Do you think there's still more to come from this side, though?
I don't suppose vindication or that doesn't really enter it, because I'm not really fussed at how confident where we were going to be. what people say. It's like the wind, it changes, it comes and goes, doesn't it? So, you know, we were happy internally with what where we thought we might get to, but yeah, we're in good form. It's by no means the finished article. There's still some bits in there we can be much better at, and you know, the weekend probably showed a bit of that, where defensively they scored 2 tries when we were down, I think, but then the first one off a kick, which was pretty poor. We've conceded a few off kicks this year, which is disappointing, particularly off where Antrobus got tucked into the in goal. There was a 10-second period to reset and have a look up and see what's coming at you, so that was disappointing. And then the Liam Harris show and go one, which obviously we prepped on York. We've had Liam here for a year last year, we know what he's good at, and that was one of the highlights we needed to make sure we did a job on him. We just switched off now and again, and at the minute everything seems to be sticking, doesn't it? So I'm playing confident, we're scoring some nice tries, the ball's landing where it needs to be more often than not, which is great. But there will be days where it doesn't stick, Faz, and you've got to grind games out, and conceding average tries, they're not going to help us. So yeah, we need to tidy that up, and it's something our training over the last couple of weeks, and probably for the next few weeks, we'll be aiming to sort of load it into defence and try to tidy that area up, because at the minute quite comfortable where we're at offensively.
Moving on then, it's Tuesday night under the lights next week as Dewsbury Rams come to town. Have you had a chance to do much work on them? Where do their threats lie? What are their strengths?
They've had a couple of tough games, but they've done alright. They lost to Featherstone, then lost a tight one to Barrow just recently. But they're an effort team. They keep turning up. They've got some big middles in there. Ross Peltier, Harry Kidd, obviously we had here in the past. Sykes, still a good old head. Dom Speakman at 9 doing a good job from there as well, and they've got a couple of good backs there. Gabriel, a little bit like a bit of a pudge or a salty, even small in stature, but it can cause some damage. And they've got Ben Blackmore on the other wing, so they've got some quality across the field, and it's by no means a gimme just because they're not getting the wins. Now we're looking forward to playing them on our own pitch, and getting the last one in before we have a break, and hoping we can send our fans away from the Shay smiling, and hopefully invite them back smiling as well in a few weeks' time. But yeah, they're a decent team. We need to do what we need to do well, and just touch up those little areas, as I say, and try and really put out a ruthless and 80-minute performance.
It's an unusual game day with it being a Tuesday night. Obviously, we've seen in recent times we've played some of these not necessarily lesser known, but lower ranked in the table teams at home on these evening games and come unstuck. One against Batley, maybe one against Oldham. Is that sort of in your mind in any way that you've got to, if you want to get to where you want to be at the end of the year, you need to avoid these so-called potential banana skins?
Yeah, I don't really view it as a banana skin. We've had yes, it's a Tuesday night, but we'll have had ample time to prepare for it, so there's certainly no excuses. But yeah, to get to where you want to be at the end of the year, you need to be knocking wins off that, you know, again, without disrespecting Dewsbury, if we're here in the table and they're there, we need to put a performance in that sort of justifies that position, don't we? So yeah, I've got absolutely no dramas with us turning up and not doing the job because it's Dewsbury Rams. I'm full of respect for Dewsbury, know what green is about, so yeah, we're expecting a really tough physical game, and we'll have to put our best foot forward and start the game well, because you know, if you don't start well, they grow a leg and we start getting into a bit of an arm wrestle there, and hopefully we can avoid that with a good performance from the off.
We'll pressure for some squad information then. We saw Joe Rundle not come out after half time on Sunday. Is there any concerns there, any injury concerns from the York
concussion game? Just picked up a flailing leg whilst in a tackle, and obviously they took him off the HIA and he didn't pass the things that are in place there, so he'll obviously be unavailable now for I think it's changed to 11 days now, so Joe won't be available on Tuesday. But there's a couple of us we need to check on tonight. Cav might be ready, Greg Worthington, Matty G, there's a few blokes that might be ready, and also there might be a couple of changes just because we've got people chomping at the bit who are not in the team, and we might have the opportunity to swing a few things around, but I want to be very cautious with that as well and not make too many changes to avoid any sort of, what's the word you have to,
disjointed
nature. Yeah, disjointed.
Complacency.
Got some nice completions. Nice combinations, working well at the minute, and I'm really reluctant to break them up. But we have to look at the big picture as well. And we've got some blokes who've played every game and a chunk of them have played every game in the middle as well. So we'll have a look at that, see how everyone comes through training, and we'll make some calls. Probably won't pick the team until a little bit later this week.
Just finally then, it's going to be it's been announced today, it's a double header. The academy are going to play a curtain raiser for the first team. How important is it that we allow the fans to get down and see all these different sides of Halifax that we've got to offer, and that they can get behind them for what is the future of rugby league in the town?
Yeah, well, apart from the Halifax wheelchair rugby were established and have gone really well for a period of time now, the ladies rugby and the academy are in their infancy really, and it's all part of building a good club, a good community club, and there's a long way to go yet in both areas there, but you've got to start somewhere, and they are progressing nicely. Plenty of kids have signed up to the college next year to join that academy programme up there, which is great news. And we hadn't had one for a while, but Will Calcott was as a product of that Category 3 system, and you never know, there might be a few roughies in there. I'll be down to watch myself at the weekend and see if there's anything there we could possibly have a look at in the future. But it is all sort of building blocks towards progression as a club, I think, and one day we want to get back to where we've got academy, reserves, ladies team, the whole shebang, and everything's flowing nicely. So it's just a start, and the hard work's in front of us. Just have to keep plugging away at it, and hopefully people can get behind that and come down and take in 2 games this week.